Yeah, I think I want to say to Mr. Wofford that thank you for your words, and I think you're right. I think this board does put a lot of time and energy. A lot of people just see us here at this on the dais and think this is our job, but we are reading and getting emails and talking to people at supermarkets, on the golf course, in meetings, all the time about some of this stuff. And I think we spend hours, countless hours, reading. Some people we were able to respond to. Sometimes we're not. I wish I could respond to everyone that I could, but sometimes I have children that need help right away, and then it gets lost in emails sometimes. But to speak to some public comment, why we weren't here at. A lot of people don't understand that there's rules and regulations of where we can be, how we can be here, and when things are going on. And it's not our rules, but there's rules and there's laws that allow us to be in places and not be in places and talk about schoolwork or our district policies and stuff. And so when that happens, sometimes we cannot legally be here unless it's properly noticed by OMA, which is Opens Meeting Act. So there's a lot of things that are happening. Oftentimes we're able to see stuff later, but sometimes when our participation happens, we can't do that. And then sometimes we're physically doing our job in other places. And so, and I believe that's in some cases, I think it would have been more than that. I think many board members were actually getting hours that are required by the state of New Mexico to sit on the board. And three of my colleagues here recently got awarded for how many hours they've spent on some of their things here. And so the public just sees, oh, they're not here. Oh, they don't care. Come on. And this board right here, and I know your work ethics and what you guys are doing, and people don't realize that we spend 40 hours a week as the president, 40 hours or plus volunteering. And that's not going to schools, that's not doing any of that stuff. That's just our work and policy and reading and doing that stuff. And many of board members are spending 30 hours plus. And as board president, I know you're going beyond that, even 40. Mm-hmm. And so no one ever thanks us for that. But I will thank you, board members and fellow colleagues of mine, for the hard work that you do put in, the thoughtfulness of what you put in. And I believe, like Mr. Wofford said, this board does put children first, and we do our job in trying to do what's best. What that is depends on what lens you're using. Madam President, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jaramillo.
It's just you and I, Ms. Court.
All right, I'll go, unless you would like to go first, President. I read most of the comments although I had a really hard time getting in, oh my goodness. But anyway, I read the comments that everyone said, and it really, what I felt like, it's pretty 50-50. But what the public wants and what the public deserves is consistency. At this point in time, what I would like is data for how we're doing with this balanced calendar, but we're only 8 months in. And so really to make a fair assessment of this calendar, we really cannot, because we don't have enough data to do that. And I think that because of COVID, because of learning loss, because of all of the multiple things that now come to us in 2023, my personal opinion is that I think that we should stick with the balanced calendar. We should give our kids the opportunity to.
Thank you, Madam Court.
Sure.
I was juggling different parts of the packet, looking at our policies that we have coming up, and then going back and reviewing the comments in the Thought Exchange survey. And there's 8. I don't know who was on there, but wow, that was interesting. The fact that the calendar that we voted on last year, that there is a positive response by many is it's comforting to me, because I didn't feel like there was a lot of blowback. What I hear is very similar to what I heard last year. And I know that those families adjusted and are adjusting, and I think we need to give I would have wanted to be here or have you see me, listen to you, but like Mr. Jaramillo had mentioned, we have Opens Meetings Act that we abide by, and we will not violate those rules to jeopardize the work that we do on behalf of our district. If nobody else has something to say, I can just entertain a motion.
I was just gonna make a motion, but I'd rather you entertain a motion first.
Well, I'm just gonna read the script as is and just go with the first draft because that's
President
by
Tenorio,
alphabetical. Yeah.
President Tenorio, something Ms. Court said just struck a nerve with me. There will be so many factors which we're weighing in that it will be hard for us to know how effective this one element in a child's life is. But I certainly agree with the point that to change it back and forth would not be useful. One way I would like to assess our effectiveness on the balanced calendar, though, is to see a growth in the intercessions. In the
2023 to 2024 and 2024 to 2025 draft A calendar, specifically draft A calendar.
So moved.
Second.
That's moved by Mr. Secretary Wofford and seconded by Mr. Jaramillo. We'll do this a roll call.
Member Cooper,
Yes.
Member Jaramillo,
Yes.
Secretary Wofford votes yes, Vice President Court,
Yes.
and President Tenorio.
Yes. The motion passes 5-0. We will be with draft A calendar, the balanced calendar for next year, 2023-24, and the year next, 2024 to 2025.